Imagine this. A truck pulls into a dim rest stop at 2 a.m. Looks routine, nothing unusual. Then someone inside mouths the words help. Most fleets assume this will never touch their operation, but traffickers count on that. Today, we're going to expose how they hide inside legitimate trucking networks and what fleets can do to shut them out before the damage hits your company. Quick note, Valley specializes in trucking insurance. Most trucking leaders focus on margins, drivers, compliance, and equipment, but human trafficking is a threat nobody budgets for. Yet the fallout can wipe out a business faster than a nuclear verdict. You can get blindsided even when you think you're running clean because traffickers know exactly where the blind spots are. And here's the twist. In most cases, the company never intended to be involved. Traffickers just exploit your routes, your subcontractors, and your visibility. Let's break down why they target this industry and how fleets can protect themselves. You already know trucking covers every corner of the country. That reach is exactly why trafficking networks use freight corridors as cover. Trucks cross borders, stop in remote locations, and blend into the landscape. Criminals use that anonymity, but the real shock is how easily a fake company can look legitimate. Why traffickers target trucking? Trucking gives traffickers 4 huge advantages. First, broad coverage. Long routes mean long distances to move victims before anyone notices. Second, legitimate cover. It's cheap to register a company, lease equipment, or hide behind someone else's authority. Third, remote areas. Rest stops, warehouses, back roads, all places where oversight is minimal. Fourth, subcontracting gaps. Big carriers rely on small partners, and that's where criminals sneak in. And traffickers follow the same logic you do. They look for the weak links, fast shortcuts, in low-risk environments. The California wake-up call. A few years ago in California, a small trucking company looked normal on paper. Contracts, documents, trucks, everything checked out. But behind the curtain, they were transporting trafficking victims who thought they were coming for real jobs. No one suspected anything until a victim escaped and reported it. Police uncovered more than a dozen victims, and the owners were arrested. This is the nightmare scenario because the fleet didn't raise red flags until it was too late. It doesn't happen in my fleet. Plenty of fleets believe they're too small, too honest, too local to be a target. Wrong. Traffickers prefer small carriers because oversight is lighter. They hide inside the companies that think they're the safest. Awareness isn't paranoia, it's prevention. How traffickers hide in real businesses. Here's where operators get caught off guard. Fake recruitment. Victims get promised jobs in construction, landscaping, kitchens, etc. Instead, they're transported under threat. Front companies. A criminal can create a shell trucking company in hours and pass surface level checks. Driver exploitation. Some drivers get coerced into debt, threats, or fake contracts. Freight concealment. Victims move behind legitimate loads inside hidden compartments or through handoffs at isolated stops. And when these networks operate inside a supply chain, even an unintentional connection can explode into legal and reputational disaster. You're liable even if you didn't know. You don't have to participate to get dragged into a tracking investigation. If your subcontractor is dirty, if your yard is used for transfers, if your driver ignores signs, your company gets pulled into the fallout. Courts won't accept, we didn't know. Leaders need systems that make knowing the default. The consequences for trucking companies. Let's talk fallout because this is where fleet owners wake up fast. Legal action hits first. Trafficking charges carry long sentences. Licenses get pulled. Authorities can revoke permits, contracts, or your operating authority. Financial collapse follows. Victims sue. Equipment gets seized. Shippers cut ties overnight. Reputation dies last. Even an accusation can make brokers and customers walk away. A single oversight can undo decades of stability. Now, let's fit this threat to strategy. Because fleets that train, screen, and partner with the right groups don't just avoid risk, they create a safer operation with stronger culture and better leadership. How the industry fights back. Truckers themselves are catching cases before law enforcement even knows they're happening. One Michigan driver saw something suspicious at a rest stop, made a call, and rescued a missing girl. That's the power of awareness. Organizations like Truckers Against Trafficking are training drivers to spot warning signs. The FMCSA is sharing safety guidance. The tools already exist, but they work only if fleets deploy them. 3 signs something is off. First, someone who avoids eye contact or looks terrified. Second, a passenger who can't speak for themselves or seems coached. Third, repeated drop-offs at odd hours with different passengers. If something feels manufactured, trust your instincts and report it. What trucking companies can do. We've talked about the risk. Here's the practical playbook. First, train your team. Drivers, dispatchers, warehouse staff, everyone should know the basic signs of trafficking. Second, post hotline numbers. The National Human Trafficking Hotline needs to be on every truck and office wall. Third, screen hires and subcontractors. If someone's rate is too cheap to be real, it usually is. Fourth, build alliances. TAT, local law enforcement, safety councils, make reporting normal, not rare. Fifth, promoting a culture that rewards caution. Drivers should never feel punished for making a call. A strong culture protects your people and your business. The one number every truck should carry. 1-888-373-7888. The National Human Trafficking Hotline. It works nationwide, it takes anonymous tips, and it has saved lives. Stick it in every cab, every yard, every driver packet. A driver who spoke up. A driver saw a young girl at a rest stop surrounded by adults who wouldn't let her speak. He made one call. Police arrived, confirmed trafficking, and rescued her. He lost 0 drive time and saved a life. That's what reporting looks like in the real world. A final message. Human trafficking is one of the darkest crimes in the world, and traffickers exploit trucking because it gives them reach, speed, and cover. But fleets can shut that door fast. Train your people, vet your partners, build alliances, encourage reporting. Safety culture isn't optional anymore. It's protection against threats most operators never imagined. Every call matters, and your fleet might be the difference between a victim staying hidden or getting rescued. Thanks for watching.